MX Simulator will never die. I will never, ever, ever stop playing MX Simulator. Now, wait a minute, Spencer. What if another really good motocross simulator comes out and it's got an amazing terrain deformation system and the graphics look so much better than MX Simulator? You're not getting what I'm saying. Stop. Stop. I will never stop playing MX Simulator. Never. I don't care what comes out. I will never stop playing this game right here. You want to know why? Because the physics and the way the bike actually feels is 100% perfect. I'm not talking 70% perfect. I'm not talking 90% perfect. I'm talking 100, bro. 100% perfect. And you can't beat 100% perfect. You can't do that. You can't get it any more real than MX Simulator because MX Simulator feels exactly like real life. You can't get any more real than that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, MX Simulator has its flaws. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of different things about MX Simulator that's not all that great. But when it comes to the most important part to a motocross game, MX Simulator has that nailed down so hard that there is never going to be a game that is better than MX Simulator when it comes to the actual gameplay. It's never going to happen. The only way that you could say just maybe I would go to another game is if JLV literally copied and pasted his physics system and the way the bike feels off of MX Simulator and put it into like an MX Simulator 2 with better graphics and shit like that or whatever. That's the only technical way I would actually stop playing this MX Simulator. And that's really, it would be the same game anyway, so you can't even really say that. You see what I'm saying? You can't even really say that. But I don't think JLV will ever do that. I think JLV will always keep it on this MX Simulator because there is just such a crazy, humongous catalog of tracks and different skins and dynos and everything, and the graphics of the games makes it to where if you don't have an amazing PC, you can still get on here and play the game, and all these, there's just so many good things to MX Simulator that allows people that are coming from console gaming to be able to just hop on here and play the game, and I think that's a really big positive and pull to the game for a lot of people out there is they don't have to have some crazy hardcore gaming PC to play the game. Now with E-Road and shit like that, maybe a different story, but I'm just talking about the base game itself. So when it comes to like graphical improvements or whatever, I feel like JLV is just always going to do updates of the original MX Simulator. He's never actually going to make a whole new game with it. He's just not going to do that. There's just too many custom tracks and too many you know, all the different bike skins and bike models and all of that stuff, man. I mean, all of that through the past, like, this is a milestone in motocross gaming, and I can't believe that the official real-life teams don't, like, why does this game not get the attention that it deserves? I've never understood that. This game deserves 1,000 times more attention than it gets, and it's just crazy to me that, like, you know, the real-life teams are not at least just getting on MX Simulator to see what maybe a real-life track from 2015 looked like, because they've got all the replica tracks from all the way back to 2010. You know, like the real-life teams could be like, oh, okay, this is kind of how, I don't know, 2017 whatever Las Vegas Supercross looked last year. So now we can actually get ourselves prepared for the next one. And you know how the, like, real-life car racing and stuff that they have where they will go and actually do these simulators, like car racing simulators and stuff. The only difference with that and MX Simulator is the fact that with MX Simulator, you're not actually using handlebars, even though I think I actually did see somebody with a handlebar controller on this game at one point in time. I think somebody sent me a Snapchat of that once. I may be just dreaming. I'm not really sure, but yeah, so that's the only real difference is you're playing with a controller instead of handlebars. But when it comes to the simulation aspect, it's just as much of a simulator as you can expect a simulator to be. Like, especially coming from someone that has rode a dirt bike in real life and raced in real life and done all that, it's identical to how a real dirt bike is. Every single aspect of it is 100% identical, minus the fact that in real life when you crash you actually break a bone. I mean, that's the only difference. And maybe a little bit when it comes to like collision with other riders. I'm not necessarily talking so much about that. I'm just talking more so about how the actual bike feels when you're riding it, you know? That aspect is like, you will never ever beat MX Simulator on that. It's impossible. You can't beat perfect. You can't do it. You'll just never be able to do that. And that's what I'm saying, though, is I just can't believe there's not more teams that get on this game and at least just look at replica track. Shit, it's not even so much about them having to play the game and learn it or whatever. It's just to be able to see like a full 3D version of all of the history of the Supercross and motocross tracks and stuff like that from the past, and the fact that this game actually bases bikes around real-life dynos and a lot of things like that. I just can't imagine that, you know, it's not more mainstream than it is. It is such a like little boxed group of people that play this game, and I just that is one of the wonders of the fucking world to me. I mean, it really is. I just don't know why it's not on the level of like other simulators, like airplane simulators, car simulators, racing simulators, that kind of thing. You know, I feel like it is just as good as any of those can be. And I feel like when it comes to a simulator, it's not so much about graphics. I mean, that is like across the board. I don't think it's so much about graphics on any simulator. It's way more about what the gameplay of it, what you're actually doing, has always been way more of the focal point of simulators in the past. So, you know, the people that get all upset about the graphics, I mean, I understand it, right? But it is a game from 2007. Like, shit, you know, you got to remember that as well. But, yeah, I mean, to me, MX Simulator, it's just never, when it comes to the hardcore simulation racing and playing of a game, this game will always have a place, because there will always be that sort of want for that crazy skill gap competition in a motocross game. That'll always exist in the world. You see what I'm saying? That's why it just, to me, it seems like MX Simulator will never die, because people always are going to want to race on a dirt bike game with this level of a skill gap. Always. You're always going to have that. And when it comes to the gameplay, you're never going to beat MX Simulator. So it's almost in this untouchable realm when it comes to that aspect. Now, as far as graphics and terrain deformation and all that other shit, yes, there's definitely other games that are better and do it in better certain ways and things like that. But the gameplay itself, rider on the bike gameplay, MX Simulator will never be beaten, will never be forgotten, and that's one of my biggest goals, is to try to explain to people like, man, just get into it, just learn it, just figure it out. You will realize the magic to this game. You just have to give it some time. You have to give it the respect that it deserves, like a real dirt bike. You can't just go into it thinking it's just a dirt bike video game. Motherfucker, it's real-life motocross, but in a virtual world. Get your head on straight, dog. Like, you know what I mean? That's really what this game is. Seriously. It's real-life motocross, but in a virtual world. That's exactly what MX Simulator is. And I think, I'll even go as far to say, I think it takes just as long to learn MX Simulator as it would riding in real life. But the difference in that, and why people can learn MX Simulator a lot faster, is because obviously you can play it on rainy days, snow days, all that kind of stuff. You can play it during the nighttime. You can play it, just go play it whenever you want to play it. And the fact that when you crash in this game, you don't get injured and be out of riding for 6 months or whatever. But when it comes to how long it actually takes you to learn the bike, I feel like it's identical to real life. Like, you know, for instance, let me just explain it to you like this. So in real life, if you had, let's just say there was 0 chance of getting hurt when you crashed a real-life dirt bike, and you had every single kind of track right there at your fingertips in real life at all points in time. Morning, nighttime, middle of the night, midnight, at all given points in time. All types of tractions, all types of jumps, all types of everything. If you had all that at your fingertips in real-life motocross, without the ability to crash and hurt yourself, that it would take just as long to learn that it would be identical. It would be MX Simulator equals real life. You see what I'm saying? It'd be the exact same thing. So yeah, man, what an amazing game. It's just unreal to me. How somebody got it that realistic. How JLV actually managed to do that. One guy, motherfuckers. One guy did this shit, okay? This is even more crazy about the whole thing. The game is not even AAA priced. It's like half the fucking price of a AAA game, and one guy made it, and it was made back in '07, and it's still going on strong as Donkey Kong, dude. Like, it really is. And there's just more tracks coming out every day. More bike skins coming out. More gear skins. All different kinds of unique biomes for tracks and unique track designs like straight rhythm and square rhythm and all this crazy stuff. Enduro tracks, trail tracks, all the pro racing side of the game. You got all different kinds of pro races on all different types of tracks. You got the official, more like your AMA style pro racing for the supercross and motocross, and you got your lower tier pro racing stuff. It's just, man, what an experience. What an experience of a game. MX Simulator will never die.